Well, when I first found out my father had COVID, I was very nervous and a little scared. I am a nurse. I'm actually an ER nurse by background. And my father was contracted COVID and was in the hospital. I'd heard all the stories and the adverse outcomes of patients that contracted COVID. And I was really just worried about what the ultimate outcome would be. He actually took a little convincing to go to the emergency room, and he was pretty sick by the time I got him there. And then with the restrictions, I had to leave him there. And I just remember leaving and thinking, you know, I hope this isn't the last time that I'm seeing my dad. So we ended up having the opportunity to do some window visits with my father. He was in the hospital for about a month up on the COVID unit in the hospital, and then he was transferred to ICU. And after he'd been in ICU for a couple weeks, they told us that we could see him through a window. And once we found that out, we were like ecstatic and desperate just to see him. And we felt like if we could at least have that connection with him, that maybe could make a difference in his care and maybe his outcome. We are thankful for the window because that's all we had. But living in Phoenix in the summertime, you know, it was the record heat, about 116, and we were outside the window, and the window was hot to touch, and the only way we could see him is to put cup our hands to the window. And so that was hot. We were dripping sweat, but you know, it's your dad or my dad. Any measure or any uncomfortable experience that we had to endure was worth it just to have that connection with him. If I were to find that there was a device that would have allowed me to be in the room instead of at the window, honestly, I'd probably just cry out of sheer emotion. After talking to my dad about seeing us through the window, he says that was just like a breath of fresh air for him and gave him just a little bit of a boost to continue the fight, because he had a hard fight with the COVID. It had tight holds on him and his physical body, and being able to have that emotional connection with us by seeing at the window, he said, just felt like, honestly, just like a light at the end of a long dark tunnel. From a nurse perspective, I think this device would be good in this situation as well as with other communicable diseases and other instances where we need protection. I mean, as unique as I like to think I am with this situation, I realize, you know, my father is not the only patient in this situation, and COVID isn't the only medical situation where you have to require barriers and isolation. So the device as a whole, I feel like it's a complete game changer in this current pandemic situation, as well as going forward in any other situation, from a nurse perspective as well as a family member perspective.